Russia's terrifying declaration of war terribly shook the whole world. You must have witnessed some heart-tearing videos and pictures that are being viral all over the internet. People are scared and helpless, and not only the people of Ukraine. The unannounced war between Ukraine and Russia has taken the world politics, economy, and global market systems by storm. Europe is facing its biggest military confrontation since World War II. And to lighten the situation there, many countries came to help their way out. Among all of them, Germany has shown a historical move on Russia, which could be a turning point in the Russia-Ukraine war. Want to know what that turning point is? And what is Germany's stance on the Russia-Ukraine war? Then stay tuned till the end. Welcome to the War Zone. If you don't want to miss out on any new political news, conflicts, battles, or anything else related to politics, then subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so that you will always be notified. Before World War II, Germany was a superpower. It was one of the most powerful countries in the world. It had a great military and a very strong economy. The country was able to defeat many other countries during the World Wars. This made it one of the most powerful countries in the world. And you must have known that Germany was in 2 world wars in the 20th to 20th century. These wars left a great impact on Germany. And today, although Germany does not have a large military or land area that limits German power, Germany still holds a powerful place in the world. German power rests primarily in terms of economy, healthcare, natural resources, education, and EU-NATO membership. Being a member of the EU and NATO also gives Germany a seat at the table in global and European politics. It can vote on important issues and help to shape the way the world works. And this is exactly what happened when Germany refused to send weapons to Ukraine. And not only this, Germany went to the extent of forcing other NATO countries to not supply Germany-made weapons to Ukraine. Germany's refusal to join other NATO members in providing weapons to Ukraine has annoyed some allies and raised questions about Berlin's resolve in standing up to Russia. And here the obvious question arises: why? What is the reason behind Germany's position? Experts say Germany's position is partly rooted in its inglorious history of aggression during the 20th century. You will be surprised to know the reason behind Europe's most powerful country standing back is historical and complex. There's a great grassy plain to the east of Berlin where the soil tells terrible stories. As farmers plow, their blades disturb human bones, weapons, the fragments of one of the most brutal battles of World War II. It was spring 1945. Hitler was hiding in a bunker in Berlin, his troops in retreat. Soviet forces advanced from the east across the plain, but above them on a hill called the Silo Heights, the Nazis had taken up a defensive position. It was, by all accounts, a muddy, chaotic bloodbath. The Soviets eventually prevailed, hastening the end of the war, but it's estimated up to 30,000 of their soldiers were killed. To visit the memorial at Silo Heights is to understand how deeply entrenched this country's history remains in the minds of many Germans, and how the horrors of the 20th century still influence its foreign policy today. It is one of the reasons Germany has refused to send weapons to Ukraine, prompting a furious response from politicians there. Germans believe diplomatic negotiation is the best way to resolve conflict. German troops rarely participate in anything other than peacekeeping missions. There are few exceptions, and they were controversial, including the Balkans in the 90s and more recently, Afghanistan. So to conclude, until now, Berlin's foreign policy was primarily based on promoting peace via diplomatic means and a reluctance to invest in its military capabilities. Yes, you heard it right, until now. But as recently as Friday, Germany reversed a historic policy of never sending weapons to conflict zones, saying the Russian invasion of Ukraine was an epochal moment that imperiled the entire post-World War II order across Europe, coming after Berlin clung to its initial position for weeks, despite the rising Russian menace and pressure from EU and NATO allies. The Russian invasion of Ukraine marks a turning point, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said in a statement. It threatens our entire post-war order. In this situation, it is our duty to do our utmost to support Ukraine in defending itself against Vladimir Putin's invading army. Germany stands closely by Ukraine's side. A government spokesperson said the weapons will be delivered as soon as possible. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz said on Sunday, "In view of the turning point that Putin's aggression represents, our approach is, what is needed to secure peace in Europe, that will be done." The past days represent a serious paradigm shift in Germany's approach to foreign affairs. Stefan Meister, head of the program International Order and Democracy at the German Council of Foreign Relations, told Eurasie TV. It is a war that requires us to redraw the foundations of our foreign policy actions, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock said during the parliamentary address. In this historic hour, in the face of the brutal attack on Ukraine, we will opt for support that, in addition to our great economic and humanitarian commitment, now also supports Ukraine with the supply of military material and weapons, he further added. People were shocked when they got to know that the German government completely changed course and announced that it would send 1,000 anti-tank weapons and 500 missiles. Isn't it great? And not only this, during an emergency parliamentary session on Ukraine on Sunday, Chancellor Scholz announced an additional $113 billion for the German army. There was an audible ripple of shock in Parliament. Some MPs clapped, some booed, others looked stunned. Undeterred, Mr. Scholz went on to announce drastic measures that would have been unthinkable a week ago, including a constitutional commitment to NATO's military spending target of 2% of GDP, and he confirmed that Germany would be sending weapons directly to Ukraine. Do you know Berlin has long resisted pressure from the United States, notably under former U.S. President Donald Trump, to raise its defense spending to 2% of its economic output in the light of its history? Ukraine, however, changed everything. Within a few days, Vladimir Putin has managed to do what NATO allies have spent years trying to achieve: a massive increase of military spending in Germany. This is arguably one of the biggest shifts ever seen in Germany's post-war foreign policy. What do you think? What could be the possible reason behind this change? Many experts believe that Germany's shift comes as numerous Western allies are mobilizing to send Ukraine more guns, ammunition, and even anti-aircraft defense systems as Russian forces bear down on major Ukrainian cities. They argue that Germany's resistance lingered in recent days even as other European countries, the US and NATO, started mobilizing in recent days to send military equipment and weapons to Ukraine. You must be thinking about what NATO is and how it will impact such major policy change. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. In response to increasing tensions and security concerns, representatives of several countries of Western Europe gathered together to create a military alliance. To secure their future and peace, many Western European countries were willing to consider a collective security solution. Germany is a member of the European Union and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The EU consists of 28 European countries, which work together to keep their economies strong and help each other with problems. But when situations demand, they can create pressure to make others work out with world-impacting issues. So this was the reason why the country, which has the strongest economy in the 27-nation European Union, has faced criticism from Ukrainian officials and other allies that it has not acted decisively enough to help Ukraine fend off the Russian invasion. This act of Germany was accepted and praised by everyone. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the news of weapons shipments, posting praise for Scholz on Twitter. "Keep it up, Chancellor, anti-war coalition in action." And do you know, in addition to military aid, the German Economy and Climate Ministry said Saturday that Germany will send 14 armored vehicles and up to 10,000 tons of fuel to Ukraine. After Russia's shameless attack, Ukraine must be able to defend itself, Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock and Economy Minister Robert Habeck said in a statement. The federal government is therefore supporting Ukraine in providing urgently needed material. And after earlier opposing the prospect of banning Russia from the SWIFT global financial system, Baerbock and Habeck said that Germany supported a targeted and functional restriction of SWIFT. This sudden change of heart and policy clearly shows Germany's stance in the war. Either by will or by pressure, Germany is helping Ukraine in this hour of need. What is your stance on this sudden change of heart? Comment down your insight below. Alright everyone, this brings us to the end of our video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until then, take care, and we will be back with another video.